Now at 10, you cast your votes and we have results on Pittsburgh's public safety sales tax question. Plus, we're going to hear from the Joplin Public Library on struggles they could face with a loss of public library funding. And Missouri Southern partners with the Lafayette House to raise awareness of sexual assault.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Voters in Pittsburgh tonight approved the continuation of a public safety sales tax. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The 0.05% tax originally went into effect in 2014 and is used by the police department to fund new staffing, technology, and equipment. It passed with a vote of 649 yes to 135 no votes. The Missouri House of Representatives voted to strip state funding for all public libraries for challenging a law that would ban certain library materials with explicit images. KOAM's Jalen Banks joins us live in the studio now with more.
Well, thank you, Dow. I was able to catch up with Joplin's Public Library Director, and she shares the outlook for the library moving forward. On March 28th, the Missouri House of Representatives voted to cut nearly $4.5 million from the budget for public libraries. The loss of funding may very well impact Joplin's Public Library.
Zeroing out of that funding amounts to $35,000 for Joplin alone. The total of that is $4.5 million. The $35,000 that we lose would definitely affect our community.
The funding as of today goes towards new books, videos, copying, and internet hotspots. But if the funding is lost, those resources, among other things, hang in the balance.
It could affect staffing. So if we have to try to figure out how to funnel more resources into our collection budget, that has to come from somewhere. We already spend a chunk of our money on staffing. And so when you think about $35,000, that's a position, a full-time position, or that's 2 part-time positions that we may have to consider eliminating.
State Representative Lane Roberts says cutting the funding was a difficult but necessary decision.
Not a pleasant decision, not something any of us really liked. I don't like being in this position. On the other hand, I completely agree that the decision that's been made in this lawsuit is irresponsible, and there's a level of accountability. I mean, you don't just wrap yourself in the cloak of righteousness called library and feel free to do whatever you want.
Roberts assures us that the ban is not on books, but on specific images.
The idea that we're somehow banning books, there are no provisions in this bill that says you can't possess the book, buy the book. There's no crime. Should not have sexually explicit material, specifically images, that are available to school children. It's no more complicated than that.
The budget proposal now moves to the Senate, and that will decide its fate. But budget planning for libraries is coming sooner than later.
We have already started to work through a little bit of the process to just decide what we will do if we don't get the money. We have to start working on our budget within the next couple months, so it will become very important very soon.
Gockley also shares that there are 170 people on their hotspot hold list. So by losing the funding, those individuals could lose internet access. Reporting live in studio, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Jalen, thanks. If you buy recreational marijuana in Joplin, you should expect to pay a sales tax of more than 20%. Like a lot of communities, Joplin and Jasper County last week each approved a 3% sales tax on recreational marijuana sales. In addition to that, the state tax rate is another 6%, and the general sales tax rate is nearly 9%. Altogether, the sales tax on recreational marijuana in Joplin will be just short of 21%. Joplin city officials say the city's portion of that tax revenue will go into the general fund, giving the city the flexibility to spend it where needed. City manager says it'll help the city offset a loss of revenue.
There was a sales tax exemption created by the state to exempt sales taxes on the certain sale of manufacturing equipment. And so this new revenue that's available through recreational marijuana will help offset that new exemption.
The city and county taxes will take effect on October 1st. Jasper County officials say the tax on medical marijuana will not increase. Boy, another beautiful day out there. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, you really can't beat it. We've had a nice little stretch of 4 days that we've had pretty good weather across the area. Above average high, 76 is where We topped out 51 is where we started. 68 is our average high for this time of the year. Clear skies. This is what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight, and really nothing going on across the entire Central Plains. So we're quiet for the next 2 days. Then we'll start to see some changes. 60 Iola, 64 in Welch, 68 in Anderson. Bella Vista sitting at 63. We'll drop back to 54 by 7 a.m. Overnight low of 50. Plenty of sunshine. We warm up quickly once again tomorrow. So fantastic temperatures. We are tracking a storm system for Friday. Possible severe threat. We cool down behind it. We're going to look at all those details here in just a bit.
See you soon. Fire crews tonight battle a blaze south of Joplin. Just after 7 p.m., authorities responded to this house fire on Goldfinch Road. There was a partial roof collapse, flames going through the roof. Authorities say everyone was out of the house safely. 2 adults and a child were displaced by the fire. There was also a grass brush fire that covered about a quarter acre, which was put out shortly after 8. A Joplin man learns his sentence for a domestic assault death. Casey Malone is sentenced to 25 years for second-degree murder. In 2021, 63-year-old Ann McCrary was found with head and face injuries and a broken arm. She died a few days later. Malone reached a plea agreement in that case. Still ahead, how 2 universities are working together to raise awareness of sexual assault. Plus, a new Southeast Kansas organization meets to discuss connecting families with child care providers. Missouri Southern students today collaborated on an event to raise awareness of sexual assault. KOAM's Amber Jenkins attended the event and has more.
Every April, Alpha Sigma Alpha sorority hosts the Take Back the Night event to raise sexual assault awareness. The president of Alpha Sigma Alpha believes this is something all college students should be aware of.
Especially since this night is centered around sexual assault awareness, and a lot of times I don't think students realize that the demographic most affected by sexual assault is actually on our campus.
Alpha Sigma Alpha sorority collaborated with Kansas University students on the candlelight event.
We were wanting to do a Take Back the Night event on KCU's campus, and so we reached out to Lafayette House, and Lafayette House was like, you'll never guess, like MSSU is actually hosting theirs the same week that you guys want to host yours. Do you guys want to collaborate?
During the event, speakers from the Lafayette House shared the importance of consent and recognizing sexual violence. At the end, volunteers passed out candles to represent hope.
So we volunteer with them. We try to volunteer with them throughout the entire year if we can, but especially during the month of April. We helped with their Oola Lafayette last week. We're hoping to go to Third Thursday next week as well.
This event wants students to remember.
Love the opportunity to, have both of our schools together, working together, just showing our community some support and showing, honestly, our fellow students our support as well.
In Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The Lafayette House is planning another event with Freeman and Mercy Healthcare tomorrow at noon. Missouri Southern is raising money to make sure students have plenty to eat. The Lion Co-op hosted an Empty Bowls fundraiser. People were able to buy a bowl with some soup, bread, and dessert, all for a good cause. Money raised from the event goes to the Groceries to Graduate program. It's a scholarship that allows eligible students to receive $50 per month to be used at the Webb City Farmers Market.
So this event will help students in the area who are undernourished be able to succeed and graduate. And specifically the Grocery to Graduate program is a partnership with the Webb City Farmers Market. So those students are able to buy locally grown foods to supplement their nutritional needs.
The bowl and meal in the fundraiser cost $20. A new organization in Southeast Kansas met today for the first time. It's called the Independence and Cherryvale Child Care Coalition. It's a local chapter of a state organization that connects families with child care providers. Today's meeting focused on how decisions will be made in the group and possible grant opportunities.
We may also look into possibly starting a substitute pool for area child care providers. It can be hard if you're an in-home provider and you need a day off. You don't want to necessarily leave all those families without child care, or if you have a center, it can be really hard to find backup for that too.
That meeting was held at the Independence, Kansas Public Library. A clock in downtown Parsons, Kansas is officially dedicated. The downtown clock was installed in December, and today it was dedicated in honor of Pete and Mary Hughes. The couple were honored for their volunteerism in the city, ranging from Operation Bright Touch to Katie Days, helping put up Christmas lights, a whole lot more. The clock is at 17th and Main Street. A little later, body cam footage released from the mass shooting in Louisville.
Plus, our temperatures warm up even a little bit more. Also, some storms in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Of course, it was a great Tuesday for us today. Plenty of sunshine, not windy, temperatures great, mid to upper 70s. Still clear skies for you right now. Here's a nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Look at these temps past 36 hours. Even you can go back to Saturday. It was a great day. Easter was a great day. Yesterday, mid 70s, even a little bit warmer for us today, and still pretty comfortable. We're at 63 in Chanute, 64 in Veneta. We have Neosho at 65, Bentonville at 63 degrees, so everybody looks pretty good. We'll drop off about another 10 by the time we get to the morning. 62 at the airport, southerly winds 5 to 10, humidity is 53%, clear skies, plenty of sunshine as we start the day, overnight low of 50, back to 65 by 10 a.m. Nothing going on our Skywatch storm tracker. We can head south. The thunderstorms we had yesterday, this upper level low, right across southern parts of Louisiana. This guy's going to hang here for a couple days, but it will affect us again as we get into Friday. We're dominated high pressure, clockwise winds, then our next storm system out across the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to take that guy with the guy across the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to give us our moisture to give us chances for showers and thunderstorms as we head toward the weekend. All right, quiet for us tonight. We back down near 50 for an overnight low. By the noon hour, upper 60s to near 70. Southerly wind, gets a little breezy tomorrow afternoon, but we get up to 75 in Nevada, 75 Miami, 78 in Chanute, Neosho up to 73. Tomorrow night, we back down right around 50. Once again, as we go into Thursday, we warm up even a little bit more, upper 70s. So the next 2 days are great. I would say the only downfall is it gets a little bit on the breezy side as we go through the next couple days. So here's your day planner. 9 a.m., 61, 72 by 1, 5 p.m., 75 degrees. So Wednesday is fantastic. Now, as we go toward the weekend, so here's that low down to our south, combines with this next storm system that kicks out right in time for Friday evening, showers and thunderstorms. But watch what happens. It wraps up across the Great Lakes. We get on the backside, this pretty good jet streak. That's going to bring in some cooler air, not cold, but cooler as we go into the weekend. So we're going to have some cold nights by early next week. But with this system, we at least have a low severe threat. It's a little higher threat, southern Oklahoma, northern parts of Texas. But we want to see if those thunderstorms can even get going, because there is a chance they may not even develop. But if they can get going, they will most likely go severe, which is going to be Friday evening. So let's go into Friday. We'll stop at about the noon hour, a few showers starting to pop up. But as we get into Friday afternoon and evening, thunderstorms try to get going into Friday night. So that's our next bigger event that we need to keep our eyes on. Until then, we look great. 76 tomorrow, 77 on Thursday, 80 on Friday. Thunderstorms late, lasting into the first half of Saturday. So Sunday's going to be the better of the 2 days. We hold mainly into the 60s. Next week, we do have another system, Tuesday and Wednesday, also a severe weather threat. So 2 threats over the next 10 days.
But an awful lot of nice days in
Yeah,
this
when
stretch.
it's not going to rain, it's going to be beautiful.
I guess so. Thanks, Doug. Police in Louisville have released body camera video from the camera worn by first responders who arrived on the scene of yesterday's shooting at the Old National Bank. 5 bank employees died after a man described as a co-worker entered that bank and started shooting. Roxana Saberi has the latest from Louisville. We want to warn you, some images you are about to see are graphic and disturbing.
Just 3 minutes after the first 911 calls, Louisville patrol officers Nicholas Wilt and Corey Galloway ran toward the bank as shots were being fired. not knowing the gunman had set up an ambush in the lobby.
It's easy to tell an officer that you have to run towards gunfire. It's another thing for them to actually do it.
Officer Wilt was shot in the head within a minute of arriving on the scene.
Officer Wilt was a brand new officer. He had no experience. He never hesitates, even after getting shot at. This young man went back in to the line of fire in order to protect others.
Wilt's training officer, Galloway, was shot in the arm. He continued to return gunfire, finally killing the shooter.
He's down! Get the officer!
The response wasn't perfect, but it was exactly the response we needed. They did absolutely exactly what they needed to do to save lives.
Officer Wilt is hospitalized in critical condition. The gunman killed 5 of his colleagues: Deanna Eckert, who died Monday night, Joshua Barrick, Thomas Elliott, James Tutt.
He took my mama away from me.
And 45-year-old Juliana Farmer, who moved to Louisville just over 3 weeks ago to help raise her 4 grandchildren.
My mom was the sweetest person, loving person, a smile that lit up the room.
Police say the suspect legally purchased the AR-15 style rifle 1 week ago at a local dealer. Detectives searched his home and recovered several items, but are still investigating his motive, while tributes to the victims continue to grow. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, Louisville, Kentucky.
Some courageous officers. An interfaith vigil is planned for tomorrow evening. Still ahead, Missouri Southern Baseball finishes up their season series against Rogers State, and local athletes shine at the Riverton Relays this afternoon. Jacob Leonard has that and more coming up.
The Missouri Southern Lions dropped 2 out of 3 games against Central Missouri over the weekend. Now for the Lions, it's their first series loss since February. Puts them 1 game behind UCM for first place in the MIAA. After having yesterday off, Missouri Southern right back on the field tonight at home against Rogers State. That game's over. Lions roll big 11-1. Henry Kuziak, great night, 3 for 5 with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs. Trent Harris goes 6 innings on the mound, only gives up 1 run and strikes out 5. Pittsburgh State Gorillas host Emporia State tonight for the 3rd and final game of the season series between the 2 teams. They've split the first 2. Tonight, though, Pitt State wins 13-8. Carson Coffey, Brett Daly, Ryan Koval, and Cade Clemens all go deep tonight for the Gorillas. The KU men's basketball barnstorming tour hits the road this weekend. They're making 3 stops, with the final stop being in Pittsburgh on Sunday at John Lance Arena. The entire KU roster is expected to be there on Sunday, so it's a chance to interact with the current players and see them in action, but also maybe see a former Jayhawk too.
There's a reason why we're finishing the tour in Pittsburgh, and I have a feeling that Jeff and Grady might get some shots up against one another, which is, I mean, shoot, I'd pay for a ticket myself to go see that. That's something that you'll only be able to see on the barnstorming tour in Pittsburgh on Sunday, so it's going to be fun. Obviously, Jeff is one of the greatest Jayhawks of all time, just had the purest shot, so it's going to be fun to, you know, he won't be able to keep his hands off the basketball at all, and it'd just be a great opportunity to kind of come into Pittsburgh and have some fun and utilize his background as a Jayhawk.
And that event begins at 2 p.m. on Sunday at John Lance Arena in Pittsburgh. You can find more information and check out different ticket packages in this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Riverton High School hosts the Riverton Relays this afternoon. It's a 14-team track meet featuring competitors from Southeast Kansas, Southwest Missouri, and Northeast Oklahoma. Here are some early highlights from the day. Girls long jump, St. Paul's Josie Harris here, 16 feet 1.5 inch. It's good enough for first place today. The boys long jump, Colgan's Tucker Harrell, 21 feet 2 inches. That's a personal best for him to take first place. Now the high jump now. On the girls' side, Cherryville's Bethany Umbarger, the last one standing. She's the only one to clear 5.2 today to win the event. Boys' side, no surprise here. Colt Ungehauer from Columbus sails over the bar there. That's 6.6 for Ungehauer, the best of the day for first place. Now to the track. These guys from Ketchum told me before their 4x8 race they were good. They weren't joking. Braden Mitchell, Hunter Autry, Quentin Williams, and CJ Weeks. They win the 4x800 relay with a time of 9 minutes 5 seconds, and that is a season best for the group from Ketchum. So we've got more highlights from the Riverton relays on our website. You can check out that story on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com.
We have a lot of phenomenal athletes, but so many of those track events look like it's something that humans shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, Colt Ungehauer is a baseball player, goes out and wins the high jump today. He's pretty nasty.
It's phenomenal. A different type of track meet in Southwest Missouri next. You saw the track meet in Riverton, but there was also a track meet in Southwest Missouri. Today was Special Olympics track and field meet day in Carthage. It allows athletes to learn through skill development and competition, be involved in large social settings. One teacher says all the prep makes it worth it for this one day, certainly for the athletes and also for the volunteers involved.
So I have them for quite a few classes right now, and getting them to focus, especially yesterday, knowing that today was the big event, it's a task, it's tough, but to see the joy and smile on their faces, I'll take a day off from my classroom to know that I can come out here and see them living their best life.
Organizers say attendance was about doubled compared to last year. And my goodness, the weather certainly cooperated for those outdoor events.
Yeah, you can't really beat the weather, and it's going to be near perfect again the next 2 days. The winds are going to pick up a little bit, especially by Thursday afternoon, evening thunderstorms, overnight thunderstorms on Friday into Saturday morning. Overall, it looks pretty good.
Final sports note.
Told you Missouri Southern baseball beat Rogers State tonight. It's their 5th straight win against the Hillcats, and in those 5 games, they've outscored Rogers State 74-13.
Wow, that's
crazy.
Impressive or embarrassing, depending on which side of the coin.
Twitter.
Yeah, you should follow me on Twitter. You can find out cool stuff like that all the time.
You bet. Thanks for joining us. Morning Show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.